Hello, Peter Gianoli here, and welcome to this RCSA Roundtable. In this presentation, I'm going to be talking about how to dominate a marketplace with a razor-sharp USP. Now look, the reason we have a USP is because when we deal with people, they are trying to answer three critical questions. Number one, why should I deal with you over anybody else? Number two, why should I actually believe you? And number three, why should I act now? Now, you can answer these questions in the affirmative, or you can have your client answer these questions in the affirmative if you've got a compelling argument, but even more importantly, a compelling razor-sharp USP. So what is a USP? It's a unique selling proposition, or it's otherwise known as a unique selling point, a unique value proposition, an elevator pitch, or indeed a point of difference. But the other thing about a USP, it needs to be more than just that. It needs to be something that evokes sentiment. It needs to be something that produces a gut feel. It needs to leave prospects clear as to who you are and how you can help them. But it also needs to be there when you are not. So if I was to ask you, or more importantly, if I was to show you what I deem to be the best, most dominant USP on the planet today, what would it be? Here it is. It's right now, it's a caricature. It doesn't even require words. Yes, this man, Donald Trump, has spent his life crafting an image. The moment you see it, it gives you a gut feel. Some people, in terms of America, it's, 72 million are in favour of it. Others are repulsed by it. 76 million are against that USP. But like it or love it, you have to say, or like it or hate it, you have to say it's a USP that is very, very effective. So much so that he's been able to transpose it to a red hat with 4 words on it: Make America Great Again. I mean, his entire campaign was one USP rolled into another USP all the way through. Kim Kardashian, there's another with a great USP. She's done all of hers online, and people know exactly what she's about and what you get if you become one of her followers. But in truth, crafting a USP for a Donald Trump and crafting a USP for a Kim Kardashian is actually very, very easily. Well, it's particularly easy compared to someone like yourself who's in an agency position. What do I mean by that? Well, a Donald Trump and a Kim Kardashian and a number of others, they simply have a one-directional USP. They craft their USP, they push it out there, and the followers are attracted. You guys, on the other hand, are a completely different kettle of fish. You're nestled right here in the middle. If you're an agent, in your case a recruiter, or it could be a real estate agent, or it could be a modelling agent, or it could be an insurance agent, when you're in the agency role, then you need to have a two-faced USP. You need to have a USP to the left, which in this instance is trying to attract employers and jobs, and you need to have a USP to the right, which is one that needs to attract candidates who can fill the jobs that you get. So a lot of people in agency world are unbelievably frustrated with the amount of USP marketing that exists because it never takes into account this frustration. It always assumes it's a one-directional USP, when in truth, in agency world, it's two-directional. So therefore, it's more difficult. So what you have to do is craft a USP in one direction and a USP in the other direction, and then skillfully nestle them both together. So how do you go about getting started? Well, the technique that I use is this thing called a 5-minute USP. This can be as simple or as difficult as you like to make it. This can take as much time or as little time as you'd like to devote to it. Obviously, the more time you devote to it, the more study you devote to it, the better crafted your USP will be. In effect, you've just simply got to fill in the blanks. So if we look at mine, my name is Peter Gianoli. I love marketing, but I was fed up with the fact that businesses didn't know what to do. They were overwhelmed. So I created the 24/7 client generation system, and that allowed businesses to generate leads and grow their business. Right? Sounds straightforward. Took a lot of planning, and I'll tell you exactly how I do that in a minute. But that USP, that one statement, is unbelievably valuable because I can use it now in LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter. I can use it in an elevator, and more importantly, my clients can use that very same USP when they tell their friends or their colleagues or their peers, hey, you should use Peter Gianoli. This is what he's about. So having a USP that's succinct grows your business as well because it allows people to pass you on comfortably. So what are the components? Well, the components are my name is, and that's your brand. That's reasonably straightforward. It's either a person's name or it could be a business. I love, and that needs to be a niche. The more specific, the better and the more useful it is because people can identify it. The more broader it is, the more watered down it is. So in recruitment, there's not much point saying I love recruiting. You should say I love recruiting for IT jobs or in the medical profession or whatever the case may be. The more niche, the better. But I was fed up with, and that's an area called frustration. Now, people only ever change their behavior to get away from a pain. They want to escape a pain and they want to move towards, arrive at, a gain. That is GAIN. So in this section, the challenge is to find out what are the frustrations that your market is moving from. What is it that's keeping them up at night? What is it that's making them uncomfortable? And then that's the bit that you put into the fed up component. So you then created a solution, and that solution produces benefits. And this is the other side of the continuum, from gain or pain through to gain, or from escape through to arrival. That's where you list the benefits. And if you succinctly put that together, your USP will provide the cut through you require. So now let's look at the USP for iMaven. Now, iMaven was founded by a recruiter called Neetha Kutsa. So in her case, she would go, my name is Neetha Kutsa, and I love helping people with their recruitment needs. But I was fed up with the hustle and the grind. So I created iMaven, which is an online platform that enables employers and specialised recruiters to connect on a single platform. There you have it. Distinct, unique, brand, niche, frustration, solution, benefit. So much so that once you have crafted a USP, you can simply put it into a graphic like iMaven has done here. So now you can see iMaven is nestled here. It's a two-way USP. It feeds into finding employers that have jobs and then matching them with recruiters that have candidates. So iMaven's positioned right in here. This is a chicken and egg, of course, a business like this. You need the jobs to service the recruiters, but you need the recruiters to attract the jobs. So we've got a comprehensive business development team. We're involved in tendering for panels. We're involved in putting together clusters of businesses to offer jobs. And as we offer the jobs, our recruiters then can bid for the jobs utilising their candidates. So if you've been early enough and you got onto iMaven, or you've already got into iMaven, you've got a distinct benefit, because all of a sudden you become a Donald Trump or a Kim Kardashian in terms of USP, that is. You only have to find a one direction USP. You don't have to worry about the business development out here. That's what the platform does. That's what iMaven does. Now, this isn't unique to this industry. It happens in, obviously, Airbnb. It happens in Trivago. It happens in realestate.com. You think of the industry. And because of this two-sided USP issue that I've been talking about, platforms have become successful because they end up matching. So as a recruiter, if you get involved here, you only have to worry about the one direction USP in utilizing your skills and utilizing your techniques to attract the key candidates. Now, okay, what's the downside of an online platform? Well, the downside is you've got to be able to differentiate yourself, because if you don't, you're going to end up like this image on the screen. So you need to, because you won't have the chance online to be asked, why should I have you shine my shoes? And this gentleman can say, well, I've got 12 children, and if I shine your shoes, you're putting my kids through school. So not only do you feel good about having nice shiny shoes, but you also feel as though you've helped someone as well. Online, you definitely don't get that opportunity. So how do we go about crafting a cut-through USP in an online circumstance? Well, the first thing you have to do is really get to understand the platform. If you understand the platform, then you know how to position yourself perfectly, and then you'll be able to take advantage of it. So if and when you sign up to iMaven, or not sign up actually, register at iMaven, the first thing that happens to you is you get a one-on-one consultation. And during that one-on-one interview, we have to ascertain how many stars we're going to grant you to get you onto the platform. Now, in time, those stars will get looked after by the algorithms. So the more places that you place and the more employers that you satisfy, as long as you're doing a good job, then your stars will either maintain where they should be or will continue to rise. Obviously, if you don't perform as well, then you run the risk of the stars going down. But to commence with, we look at your experience, we look at your specialism, we look at your commitment to training, we have a look at your affiliation. So if you belong to the RCSA and do their training, that puts you in good standing. It's your job to put your best foot forward during that interview come consultation, and it's our onboarder's job to make sure that we verify the information. So let's presume now you are on the platform, and when a job arrives that suits your specialism or your geography, you'll be given the opportunity to bid for a job. Now, when you get your chance to bid for the job, as long as you do it within certain timeframes, you will appear on a screen such as this, where this information is available for the employer who has posted the job to see what bids he has or she has attracted from the recruiters. So on here, you get your profile picture, you get your name, you get your star rating, where you're from, how much you'll charge to be exclusive, and how much you'll charge to be non-exclusive. Now, it appears that most employers will click just about everybody that has bid and dig deeper to find out about the recruiter. But just in case they don't, it's your job to make sure you stand out so that you are one of the ones being clicked and drilled down upon. Now, when you're drilled down upon, you go to this particular screen for the particular recruiter. Once again, the profile picture obviously hasn't changed. The star rating has not altered, but for each and every job that you bid for, you get this opportunity to tailor this piece of information. And when doing that piece of information, I urge you to go back to that 5-minute USP and just make sure that you're putting your best foot forward when putting your statement down here as to how you can help that particular employer find the candidate that they really want to employ. Right? As long as you start and do that, then all things will go smoothly for you in using a thing such as iMaven and using this particular platform. The other thing, of course, is your social media profile will also need to be in sync with what you're claiming on the platform iMaven. We will make your LinkedIn profile, as long as you give it to us, available to the potential or to the employer so that you can be ascertained as to being right up there for them as far as wanting to use you as their recruiter. Now, so it's important that LinkedIn is consistent. And as I said before, if you get your USP right, then your USP can tell exactly the same story when you're putting it on social media. So if you want more information on how to craft the Razor-sharp USP, there is some more training available for you. petergianoli.com/USP. But even more importantly, I urge you to get yourself to iMaven, iMaven.com.au. The quicker you get yourself on the platform, like any online platform, it's the early adopters that do the best. It's the early adopters that start to work out how to use the system, and obviously the more experience they get with it, the better their rating systems. So you're on the ground floor finding out about this today. Do yourself a favour, iMaven.com.au. Thanks so much for participating. Any questions?